there guys, and welcome back to the channel. Now finally the long-awaited information and details and rewards update to Alliance Quest Season 10. Now first things to note, the Season 10 is starting on November 24th, so we will have one more cycle with the old system, all the rewards, everything else, in which my best advice to you is do not spend any glory and make sure that you basically kind of hoard all of it as much as possible, because glory stores are getting massive improvements as well. Right, but if you guys are in a rush, then too long didn't read version of it is that we're getting map 8 modifiers that are updated rank rewards. Alliance crystals as such are going away, which I actually quite agree with. They kind of have lost their meaning in my opinion, and especially with increased amount of different stores and acquisition methods of those materials, you don't really need them that much. And besides, with the glory store update, I doubt that many are gonna miss the Alliance crystals. And yeah, so map 8 modifiers, there are some new choice nodes that are going to be coming to Alliance Quest, where you can basically pick a buff for yourself based on champions you bring in, that's going to be present throughout your entire run, so you can kind of personalize a bit your Alliance Quest experience. But let's just break it all down. So one of the biggest things, as I mentioned last, is the choice node, and the base idea is here's a list of like 6 buffs, and all of them are somewhat class specific. In essence, you can look as AQ being made somewhat more similar to Cap EQ difficulty, where you pick which class buff, because these aren't explicitly stated to be class buffs, but all of them revolve around specific traits that each class has, you want to boost, and well, then you get a benefit for that entire day, for that entire clear on every fight that you're going to be doing. And again, you can pick yourself which one you want, and then the next day you can do a brand new one or just experiment. So one of them, you know, whenever you inflict armor breaks, you gain aptitudes and then also gain extra power. One of them is whenever you fate seal, stagger, or neutralize. So this one's obviously for mystics. The first one was for cosmics. So whenever you fate seal, stagger, or neutralize, you gain increased combat power rate and ability power rate and other bonuses. Then you have while the attacker, you have precision effect, you gain true accuracy. This is kind of for skills, as in intended. Hurtful measures, exhaustion, fatigue, and petrified. This is clearly for science, so on and so forth. So basically every class gets a boost, and you can kind of choose which one of these boosts you want to help you. And everybody who plays from map 4 to 8 will have access to these, so I'll definitely also make sure to showcase this in a video when it goes live. There are modifier updates. I'm not 100% sure where we are with the modifiers at the moment, but as a fact that all of the old epic modifiers are also being swapped out, so say goodbye to Turn the Tide, Curse, so say Doom, and you have new ones added. And this time around you also have more than 5. Since there are 5 days, you will actually have choice with these epic modifiers. Which ones do you think are the toughest? And you can leave them out, because here we can see that we have what's 8, I believe. Blue side 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now you're gonna need to use 5 of these, and 3 of the toughest ones you can leave out. Order them in whatever order you want, and overall you guys have seen these nodes for most part. New modifier tier Eternal is being added as well. So these Eternal modifiers, some of them do sound a bit rough, and these are for map 8 only, and we're gonna have to wait and see. A couple of them did sound quite nasty, like if the attacker uses the same special attack as was last used by the defender, they deal 50% less damage and defender becomes passively stun immune. This one sounds quite annoying, because in many cases, you know, you just kind of want to bait level 1 and throw level 1, which is something that you're going to get penalized for. But I'm not going to break all of them down right here in this video. Just know that there will be map 8 modifiers that we will need to get used to. Overall, that didn't sound too bad though. So we do have some bosses, encounters, and buff updates. I'm not going to go over all of the smallest maps, but taking a look at map 5, you guys are going to have Hitmonkey mini boss now. We're also gonna see Scorpion as the final boss in some places. So map 5 is gonna have a new final boss as Scorpion. Map 6 mini boss variation 2 is gonna be Jabari Panther, against Scorpion as final boss. Map 7 will have Tigra as a mini boss now, and Sauron as well, and the final boss is Scorpion. It did not appear that there will be any changes to map 8 itself. And since I do not play any other maps, really, I can't really comment on the changed difficulty level based on these encounters, but I'm sure I'm going to hear it from you as soon as updates goes live. Let's get to more important changes, the rewards updates. So there are some major changes. Rank rewards provide approximately 2 to 5 times more rank up resources. Map crystals are being removed, but that is getting basically compensated because you will have new honor milestones and scoring for map 8 eternal buffs. You're going to have new map rewards. One of overall goals is to encourage alliances to play higher tier maps. Right now it's too risky to push higher map because of the reward structure, but we want to encourage alliances to push a little harder, a little further. New rewards should help by making it, you know, more enticing. Map crystals are being removed from peak milestones, but glory amounts aren't changing. But again, that does not necessarily mean that it is a horrible thing, because if glory is worth much more, then you might not need those map crystals. The best recent example was the updated Battleground store, where they did slightly increase the amount of battle chips that we got, but they drastically dropped the price of pretty much everything in the Battleground store. Therefore, every single battle chip that you earned gave you more sig stones, more rank up material, stuff like that. So it's a very simple concept where if you make the glory much more valuable as a resource, then it doesn't you know, mean that it can't cover the loss of these map crystals, which, let's face it, those map crystals, you know, I don't think there was anything special in them, and they were extremely inconsistent as well. The Glory Store is getting a massive buff. Rank up resource will be significantly cheaper. We're going to go through that in a second. So first, let's take a look at new updated rank rewards, where Alliance number 1 will be getting 17,500 tier 3 alpha fragments and 22,500 tier 6 basic fragments, and you will end up earning some tier 6 basic fragments up until spot 250. Not realistically, obviously, it all depends where you are placing. I think New Nation is just outside of top 30. We need to make sure that we get back into that top 30 for a weekly reward of like 10,000 tier 6 basic fragments and 7,500 tier 3 alpha fragments. And again, even if these rewards do not immediately appear to be like game breaking, remember that this is basically what you're getting weekly compared to Alliance war rewards that you end up getting every 6 weeks. So in reality, you have to basically multiply these rewards by 5, by 6 to kind of like be able to compare what you bring home in the same time in Alliance quest compared to Alliance war. So for instance, when you get to multiply this times 5 or times 6, there is all immediately you know, quite significantly bigger amounts there. Obviously, they have also increased tier 5 basic amounts, far I can tell, and tier 12 fragments that you earn. So let me know how it works out for your alliance, because obviously my perspective here is going to be skewed as to approximately where our alliance plays, and I do not exactly know how big of an improvement this is at lower brackets. So let me know on that. As far as it goes for the top tier brackets, this is, you know, times 4, times 5 type of improvement, where previously it was, you know, 2,000 and 1,500. Now you get 10,000 and 7,500. So it is like times 4, times 5 the amount that it used to be. Additionally, AQ Season 10 milestone rewards, we can see that glory amounts are effectively kind of similar. And here are increased map rewards. So if you're playing map 8 for that, we have significantly more tier 5 basic and tier 2 alpha fragments, gold, and also exploration rewards now feature tier 5 basic fragments and tier 2 alpha fragments. And one thing that I would want to know whether this is per battle group, which I hope it is, because if this is per battle group, then this can also turn into a very meaningful amount of tier 5 basic, tier 2 alpha acquisition place, which is, you know, a still relevant resource. So it is a bit unclear here. However, if you add these together, for instance, playing map 8, you get 10,500 tier 5 basic catalyst fragments per day times 3. So if you get 30,000 tier 5 basic fragments per day. That would be quite a massive amount, which I hope it is. Again, it is slightly unclear. I do not want to mislead you guys, but it does look like, again, a very kind of significant bump. And now, perhaps most importantly, the updated Glory Store. And for the first time, we will see Tier 6 Basic and Tier 3 Alpha fragments featured in the Glory Store. Now, they are quite expensive. So, they will come in increments of 5%, which in Paragon Store, there are Tier 6 Basics and Tier 3 Alpha in Thronebreaker Store as well, which I'm going to show in a second. But for Paragon, so if you can purchase 5 of these, that means 25% of Tier 6 Basic, Tier 3 Alpha, which resets every 8 days. And in total acquisition here to get all of it, let's just do some quick maths. That would be around 2,050, 2,850, 2,900, 3,500, and that would put it at 4,000. So to get this, you would need 4,000 glory to get tier 25% of tier 6 basic or tier 3 alpha, or 8,000 glory for both, which is something that likely I'm going to be spending my glory on, because I am at the moment trying to get my hands on as much of the rank 4 materials as possible. I do think it is quite pricey, especially when you will also now have the option to acquire relic stuff in Glory Store, where you will be able to acquire the alloys and the catalyst embers, or whatever they're meant to be. So the glory is basically going to have to be kind of split, I think, in between relics and the rank 4 materials. Obviously, tier 2 alphas now, you can acquire more of them and cheaper. You can acquire tier 5 basics in more meaningful quantity. Previously, you couldn't even get 2 tier 5 basics. Now you can quite comfortably acquire 4 tier 5 basics in here. So this is going to be quite a bit easier to come across as well. And yeah, the Glory Store does look quite significantly better. It's hard to comment on all the relic stuff because the economy of relics obviously is completely unknown for us. But when it comes to having rank 4 materials in that store, having increased acquisition of tier 5 basics, obviously all of that is quite a bit of a positive. As we can see here for Thronebreakers, as we can see, you guys actually can't see it. I'm gonna have to figure something out here. How can I show it here better? I think we're gonna have to move to the smaller screen. So when it comes to Thronebreakers, Thronebreaker players also can acquire exactly the same amount of rank 4 materials than Paragon players can. However, it is significantly more costly. If we compare the total price, then it looks like it costs around, what, 6,000, 7,000 there. Let me just do some quick maths again. So that would be 3,280, 4,280, 4,400, 4,500, 5,000, 6,000. So instead of 4,000 for 25%, Thronebreaker players would have to spend 6,000 glory, which is again 50% markup, 50% increase. That is something kind of typical that we see with these higher tier resources, but still, just the fact that you do have rank 4 materials in the Glory Store, obviously, for Thronebreakers is quite important, because remember, as soon as you basically reach 3 rank 4s, you graduate to that Paragon level. So this is, again, you know, can be helpful to get your last fragments, can be helpful to kind of slowly accumulate those rank up materials and get you that Paragon title somewhat earlier. So I do absolutely love that Kabam didn't cheap out this time around and also included rank 4 materials to the Thronebreaker store. And obviously the rest of the materials are also cheaper than they have been thus far. And then obviously the Glory stores here are lower. By the way, all of this information I will drop in the video description. I will leave a link to this forum post. And last few changes, that AQ updates are going to happen more frequently, which is something that is the case for virtually every single game mode as it stands right now. Kabam has said that basically they want to have more small but quicker updates to Alliance War, to Incursions, and also to Alliance Quest. Timeouts and preventable death mechanics are evidently fixed, so no Corvus timeout cheeses. and themed buffs are removed, which, you know, I think evidently have been an absolute failure. I can't even for the life of me remember what are current themed buffs. I think it had something to do with science champions, but basically nobody cares about them and nobody uses them in higher maps anyways. So those are most of the changes. I'll be honest, I kind of expected slightly bit more. However, there are also still pieces of information missing. Like, for instance, the honor milestones. I can't see the honor milestones for the life of me anywhere. If map 8 is getting modifiers, then you'd also can get honor rewards, which you previously didn't for doing map 8. And what will the rewards there be? You know what I mean? So, all that being said, I think this is a solid jump. And given the fact that Kabam is planning on updating Alliance Quest more often, I think I can say with relative certainty that Alliance Quest is back. Alliance Quest importance is back. And it had to happen, obviously, with Kabam releasing Prestige Champions every other month and tying Relic Prestige as what relics to Prestige. So they kind of have to make sure it works out, and Alliance Quest is likely to get more and more improvements every couple of months in order to make sure that Alliance Quest is current, is actual, and you do care about it. So what do you think of the changes in the Alliance Quest? Do you like them? Are you excited? Are you happy? Are you unhappy? What is your opinion? Leave all of those wonderful comments in the comment section below, and I will catch you guys later. See ya. Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about the next month